Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. What is today? Thursday? Happy Thursday to you. You and your family, of course. Hopefully you're doing very well on this summer day here. So we're going to take another look, of course, here at Bitcoin, see what's going on. Hopefully I try to identify how much lower this could go, and obviously just kind of, factor in a few things, take a look at some big picture and best practice. Now, if you're new to the channel, I am not a financial advisor, okay? So just so you understand, I've been trading for over 16 years, closer to 17 now, I guess. And at this point, I just love teaching people to trade. I've always just enjoyed teaching people how to become better. And why not with cryptocurrency? Because it's definitely something that I think there's a shortage of as far as help in the industry. But regardless of that fact, I love teaching people to trade. If you want to become a better trader, I've got a website, CryptoCache.tech. In order to register for basically my service, I provide you with a trading academy, everything I know about being a trader, as well as, of course, my trading community and signal group, where I send out signals for every single trade that I take. And recently, just yesterday, in fact, 24 hours ago, opened a short position, and we've taken 2 of the 5 profit targets so far on its way down. Almost got filled on the 3rd target, but that's perfectly fine. Key is that our trailing stop loss kicked in, and if it turns around, it's not a big deal, right? We've already taken some profits, some pretty healthy profits, and it's a good sign there. So again, that's just generally what we're looking at here. So go ahead and take a look at the big picture. First of all, let's start with the monthly. Make it simple for us here. First of all, we're still underneath the 50-day simple moving average. Correction, I'm sorry. I think it's no, actually we're back up above the 50-day simple moving average. I apologize. Yeah, the month hasn't closed yet, of course. But keep in mind that 50-day SMA is trending right in the range of about 21,500 at this point. So it'd be important to go ahead and close this month above 21,500. All right, so again, in that sense, that's not a bad thing. That's very positive. Another thing to recognize too is that we are kind of seeing this typical pattern where we got 3 reds followed by 2 greens. This is a very, very familiar pattern here. So hypothetically, this month and next, we have a couple of green months, followed potentially by a red month. Now, there's no guarantees on that, of course. We could be at the bottom, but generally speaking, I would not be surprised if we see a test of the 14,000 range. It's what everyone's kind of expecting, and it could very well happen. We can't rule it out yet. And for right now, too, what's nice is we are tentatively above some key level resistances, and I'll talk about that here on the daily. But generally speaking, right now, this is kind of just 50-50. In other words, we got a positive attribute here above the moving average on the monthly, but we're also below 50 on the RSI. Okay, those kind of cancel each other out. So for lack of better terms, we kind of got conflicting information on the monthly. Taking a look at the weekly, though, we can kind of see here a similar narrative, whereas the price action is getting potentially stopped out here, right at 22,700. That's right where the 200-day set moving average is averaging itself out on the weekly. Now, that's a key level resistance in most cases, so if we can close above that, be great. Preferably this week. If we cannot close above that this week, then we might have some trouble. You can see the price wicked up there previously and did not close, as well as the same thing here as well. We wicked up above and we're tentatively below. So if we stay below for the remainder of this week, that might be a sign that we're going to continue to see some downside. All right, so again, no guarantees there in that sense. I like to say that because it's pretty obvious that these are just extra little factors. But generally speaking, that is a situation that we need to come to terms with. Also, too, we're really low on the RSI, so keep in mind, significant sell-off from here would be difficult. In other words, we haven't had enough time. If the price comes back up, just say to test 50 on the RSI and comes back down, that would make more sense. That would put us right around that 2-month mark where we have that second green candlestick on the monthly. That would make more sense to retrace then than it would now as far as a significant drop, but we will see here soon. As long as we're making higher highs and higher lows on the daily, we should be in just fine shape. I don't think we're even close to that level yet where we're breaking that trend. So just keep that in mind. Mostly positive still to the upside, but these are some factors I just like to kind of throw out there. The other thing we want to look at really quick before we jump over to the daily, just see where we are at with the dollar index, kind of drawn dead there, pretty even. Whereas Bitcoin's retracing, but it makes sense considering we kind of are going sideways as well in the traditional markets. So for the most part right now, we can see that happening. With Bitcoin dominance is down, which implies that some altcoins are increasing. I think Matic and a handful of others are taking that that capitalization, so to speak. But regardless of that fact, oftentimes when you see Bitcoin selling off, Bitcoin dominance will inevitably increase. Even though it's decreasing right now, we could very well see that increase as a result of it. There's a bit of a lag. Either way you look at it, not in bad shape, just kind of more neutral in the overall sense of other things that could factor in. So with us being more neutral on the other factors, what does that tell us for Bitcoin? Well, it tells us that Bitcoin is getting a sell-off based on the simple fact that there was a massive increase here recently that was kind of unwarranted. And what I'll talk about that, we'll talk about that here in a moment, but let's go ahead and just kind of clarify a couple of things here, because I know I got some lines on the chart here. It kind of seems a little messy. I want to kind of explain this here. So first of all, we got 23 and 24,000. That's this little range right here. Okay, we lost that range, of course, because the price action came up as high as 24,300 and effectively has come down ever since. It was extremely overextended on the 4 hour at that level. Same with on the 1 hour, we had 3 nines on TD sequential, telling us that we're overextended to the upside. So this continuation of the upside had to come to a head eventually, right? You cannot just continue upwards without any resolution to the downside. So that is effectively what happened there. If we look at TD sequential on the daily too, we're at a 7 right now. That probably reset in a couple of days. So generally speaking, we hit a 6 and that was our peak. But Bitcoin's been averaging 6s and 7s a lot recently. So in that essence, we can kind of see that the price action made sense. Why wouldn't it reverse? And the reason why it reversed, of course, is again, 24,000 is a strong resistance level, a previous support level that we can see worked very strong in the past. Technically, it's this guy right here. And I misspoke. It's not a support. It was a resistance, rather, working as potential support if we were to break through, but we can't break through just yet on the first attempt, right? But generally speaking, you can see we spent a lot of time there, roughly about a week, for an ascending type of pattern before it broke to the upside and went fairly parabolic from there. Okay, so that was back in November, December for Bitcoin. All right, so anyways, that's where the 24,000 comes from. 23,000 here and some change is essentially the most recent high. That's honestly not the strongest support or resistance level, but it is a Fibonacci retracement level nonetheless. We're right at 23,100 for the Fibonacci retracement. So in that sense, we can expect 23,000 to be somewhat of a support and resistance level. It didn't hold, of course. The price action, yes, while it did close above yesterday, it's still trending below now and will likely close below as well. Okay, so again, for the most part, we should expect further downside just based on the sentiment here. We've also got further options here as well. In other words, whereas the RSI is above 50, with it trending downwards, kind of getting closer to that level, that could imply we have a support level right here at about 22,200, which once again was one of those levels that we talked about previously as a potential resistance. We can see that on smaller time frames, but generally speaking, we do have further downside here, and there is a likelihood of the price action continuing. But we'll look at some most recent highs and identify where support levels are. They should be falling very similar to that area, because oftentimes if you can maintain higher highs and higher lows, you're in good shape. But if the next low is lower than the most recent high, then you might have a problem. So let's take a look at that and let's see if I can explain that correctly. So with the 4 hour here, I know it looks a little muddled here, but why don't we do this? Yes, let's go ahead and do this here. So generally speaking, if we're looking at the price action here, let's go ahead and go with a clean slate here. For example, you can see that there is a level right here, the most recent high. Okay, so the most recent high on the 4 hour candlestick close, right there at 22,700, is effectively the point in which the price couldn't come back up above, had to come back down and blast through. Okay, so you can kind of see that was a strong resistance level, right? Therefore, when the price action comes up and comes back down here, in order for this next higher low to be a beneficial higher low, it needs to stay higher than the most recent high. Okay, again, we're not talking about this, we're just talking about this here. In that sense, we're below that level now. Now again, there's no guarantees. This candlestick hasn't closed yet. We're kind of closing a doji. We could even see reversal back to the upside. But generally speaking, that's what I try to look for in regard to just say confirmation. To me, confirmation is a closure below that level, implying that we have more likelihood of further downside based on that sentiment. Again, there's no guarantees. That's not like, it's not 100%. This happens, it's going to continue to happen, but we are effectively making lower lows in that sense, or the most recent low is lower than the recent high. However, there is some consolation here too, of course. This is where the conflicting information comes in. We've got a bunch of higher lows going on here, okay? So, this one tentatively is still a higher low until it proves otherwise, okay? So what we have to do is go into the impression it's going to continue to go lower, and until it doesn't, then we can identify that it's going to be a higher low. So ultimately, the best thing that would happen is the price comes down to 22,200, and then bounces and comes back up. honoring this support level here at Fibonacci, but more importantly, ensuring we don't have a lower low. Okay. Because as soon as this low here comes lower than this most recent low, then we're in trouble. Okay, so if we break below 21,600, then there is a decent chance we might continue to maintain that progression to the downside. And we might see a week's worth of downside. You never truly know. That's essentially the things I try to look for. So taking a look at the RSI, you can see we are bouncing off 50 on the RSI. That is concurrent, once again, with this most recent high. It happens quite often when you see that. And it could very well be a bouncing point here. To me, I'm not sold. I'm not convinced. I do feel like we are going to see further downside, just based mostly on the overextension, right? We hit a 9 on TD sequential here recently. We're only down to a 5. Hypothetically, we've got about 4 more 4-hour candlesticks, so 16 hours worth of continuation to the downside. Okay, so that's a probability. Is it a 100% certainty? No. But again, that's just kind of telling us that it makes sense why the price is coming down. This is exactly why we shorted our position yesterday. Albeit we got in a little early at 22,300, didn't get filled at 23,900 because we actually took our first profit, and then the price comes back down to hit our second profit target at 22,007. So again, some healthy, awesome, good stuff that's going on here, of course. You can't control the market. It does funny things sometimes, but it spiked up to hit its resistance level before it came back down. Okay, so all in all, we're not looking bad on the 4-hour, but once again, mostly conflicting information here, basically telling us that we don't have confirmation in either direction. But the likelihood to me is that we're going to see further downside unless we can see a bounce here to right around 22,700. Taking a look at the hourly, we can go ahead and see, of course, on the hourly that we are looking at not much of an exhaustive state here. First of all, just clarify, again, to kind of show you here, we can see, let me make it a little easier for us. We can see we hit a 9 here on TD sequential, hit an 8 right there, and then previously hit a 9 there as well. Okay, so in this continuation of the upside, we kept hitting these peaks, retrace followed by peaks and retrace. That's not a bad thing. It's just very, very good. That was a healthy continuation. But just know that when you have 3 or 4 9s in a row on TD sequential on the hourly, and you combine that with a 9 on the 4-hour, that really kind of is a recipe for a turnaround. In most cases, it happens. And it's again, you got to think about it. It's like, 36 hours of continuation of the upside, which was followed by 3 or 4 days of strong 9 to 10 hour trends. That will add up over time and inevitably leave you overextended, right? We were really close to 70 on the RSI as well, and those things all factor in. So what I'm just getting at here is that we hit a 5 recently, albeit not a big deal, but we are overextended on the 4-hour. And since we're only about 20 hours into this downside here, we can see that it's fairly healthy continuation to the downside. In other words, it's a staircase pattern, a reverse staircase pattern, pretty much implying that we'll continue to go lower until we can start making higher lows. Okay, so once we establish a higher low here and we continue to progress upwards, we might be in better shape. That's just something we want to look for. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking at there on TD sequential. The last thing we're going to take a look at is the cloud. And if you can see here, of course, clear as day, we are underneath the cloud now. So we no longer have confirmation that a long position is viable. In fact, you should have closed your long position a long time ago. Lagging span intersect with the price action about 24 hours ago. So I believe we were right at that point when I reviewed this yesterday. So in truth, hopefully you would have taken your profits. If you're in a long position now, I would not recommend keeping it open. It does feel like we're going to see further downside. Again, the conversion line is well below the baseline. We're underneath the lagging span is clear and free of price action. So there's no reason to close your short position either at this point. So long story short here, no pun intended, is to ensure that we keep our short position open, continue to hit those profit targets. Furthermore, we also want to ensure that we don't take a long position without confirmation. Okay, so preferable confirmation to me would be a close above 22,700, just seeing that we can kind of maintain this price point and continue higher, so we're effectively breaking above that most recent high. Okay, so continuing that trend, that positive trend. So again, if we lose this here, of course, it's not the end of the world, but it will be somewhat of a slippage situation where we're actually losing that support, and it's kind of reaffirming itself to the downside. So I would say at this point we should expect further downside until it proves otherwise. But there is a chance it could very well recover here just based on the fact that this is an area of contention, so to speak, with some support levels as well on the RSI, I believe, in the 4-hour. So again, all in all, we have mostly conflicting information here telling us that we don't have confirmation of really taking or opening a position. So to me, allowing us to keep our short position open, hitting those profit targets is basically what we're going to do. But outside of that, if you're just say trying to find a good entry point, wait for the price to come down a little bit lower. There's a good chance it should come down lower. Once again, we never truly know, but yeah, for the most part, everything we've seen here so far, it's pretty much, we have no confirmation. The only confirmation we have is to leave a short position open. So that's kind of what I'm getting from here. That being said, be cautious with your long positions for the moment. Continue to dollar cost average as the price comes down, and obviously make sure that you are always honoring your own risk tolerance and effectively making good, sound decisions with a clear body and sound mind. It's really important to make sure that you are in good shape. One last thing to also note here. Once again, we're not in dire straits if we close below 22,700. In fact, if we come down here and bounce off 22.2, that'd be perfectly fine. We just don't want to break this ascending type of trend here. Okay, so ideally we want to do that. Furthermore, I glossed over this but didn't touch on it yet. We are still testing the 50-day simple moving average on the monthly. Okay, so again, that kind of runs concurrent with this trend line. This is something that's really important to understand. Until we close soundly above the 50-day simple moving average, we're not in a position to be bullish whatsoever. In fact, even a week's worth of data above that, I still won't be fully convinced. But once again, there is a CMA gap right at the 28,000 range. We covered that yesterday. So there is a chance that we're going to see the price action continue higher. I think it seems more likely than not because we are still honoring this ascending trend. But we do not have confirmation yet. Keep this in mind. Just because the price closes one day above a simple moving average on the daily does not mean it's confirmed. Okay, so please recognize that. That's something that to me is really important. If we close below that here today, it'd be as if it never happened, and we could maintain a price action under the 50-day SMA for some time. This could be the beginning of the downside. Again, not trying to concern you or scare you at all, but this could very well be a bull trap, and there's a possibility of that as well. So just be cautious and careful, and try not to take super large positions. We're position sizing really low right now to save ourselves in this market. While we're not making as much profit as a traditional bull market because there's less confirmation, we are staying alive and afloat. I mean, I have some of my members messaging me saying that they're making somewhere in the range of $2,000 to $3,000 a day. I know those are one-offs. That does happen sometimes, but it's very realistic in the sense if you're careful and cautious with your trading and not over leveraging. Okay. Again, if you're going to use larger leverage, use smaller position sizes. So again, a lot of little things I like to teach in my trading academy. Check that out in your own time. CryptoCache.tech is the website. I hope that you learned something here today. We'll cover more, I guess, again tomorrow. Sorry, it's a little bit long here today. I just like to cover a handful of things. So we'll talk to you tomorrow. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you soon.